self-explanatory. So, welcome everybody. I'm going to explain to you what I'm doing really fast. We don't have a lot of time to explain it because the bees are already here. So, we are getting together bee boxes. And I'll have to tell you guys more about that because I know nothing.
We're cleaning up the old bee boxes and we found rotting bases, and so I've rebuilt new bases to use. And so we're getting the new bases primed, prepped to go under the hive, which Sabrina is cleaning up right now. So this will just be the base platform that the hive sits on, and it provides the entrance and exit through the front.
So how many bees did you get this year?
Enough for 2 hives, which is why I got the 2 bases here.
Good. So this is going to be our first time beekeeping on the property. But have you ever done beekeeping before, Rick?
I have with my father when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
It has been a while. He's over here.
Thank you.
Which is one reason why doing 2 is kind of better than just 1. It gives you some comparison. You can look at how each hive is doing versus each other.
Try to do anything on the outside of this?
No, the outsides are all fine.
Look on the inside really fast and tell me if this is enough or do I need to do more.
We'll make sure like all the way down to the edges. Then you'll probably want to get like paper towels and just wipe out any of the dust. The last thing we're gonna do to that is do a quick burn with a torch. But we want as much out as possible because we don't want to start a fire in there. You want to purify with fire, with a flame, but not set the whole thing on fire.
Yeah, so tell us about the state of bees right now and why this is important to you.
Well, the bees are going through a major die-off collapse issue. And bees, people talk about how important bees are, but we pretty much wouldn't have our agriculture without them. And so...
what's the cause of this die-off? Tell us more about why the bees are dying off.
That's one of those controversial subjects where scientists don't agree with lawyers.
So you're sciencey.
So one of the main reasons it's hard for them to figure out what's causing colony collapse is that the cause is something they've already discounted, and its cause is indirect. So
what was the counts they discounted?
Roundup, glyphosate.
I don't see how that can be counted as discounting when we've seen the problems that Roundup has on crops and everything else.
Well, what they're saying is that it doesn't directly harm the honeybees.
Bullshit. Okay.
And in their scientific terminology, they are correct. It does not immediately cause a health impact on the honeybee.
Watch out, he's under.
It does, however, kill off all their gut bacteria.
Which in humans would lead to our decimation.
Well, I mean, we have people with problems with gut bacteria, and they have problems with malnutrition no matter how much they eat, because they can't process the nutrients from the foods.
We just got me over malnutrition.
Yeah, so what's going on with the bees is the Roundup causes the gut bacteria to die off, which causes the entire hive to go into a state of malnutrition.
Yeah.
Even when they have
abundance
enough honey, because the honey they eat, they don't process properly, and they don't get the benefits out of. So that weakens. You get weaker when you don't eat regularly. Yeah. So the whole colony starts to get weaker, and then along comes one of various other pathogens or pests, mites, whatnot. One that normally wouldn't have destroyed a colony, but it comes along to a colony already weakened by malnutrition, and you have the colony just collapse. And so that was what makes it hard for them to attribute a cause, because it's actually a bunch of different things causing the die-off. However, it's Roundup causing the malnutrition, which weakens them to the state where varroa mites or other pathogens are able to cause serious damage to the hive.
You know what this made me think of, strangely, because with my, ADHDs, I was thinking about that episode of Futurama.
Which one? The one
All
with
the bees
giant
were
bees?
dying off, and they were like dying off because something was freaky going on with the
Oh,
honey.
that was varroa mites.
That was varroa mites?
Varroa mites.
Varroa
yeah.
mites. Varroa mites.
They're one of the biggest threat to beehives, but they can be managed normally.
Take a look and tell me if I did good.
Yeah, looks good.
Where's my second box?
Um,
Now, how are they managed normally? I'm sorry, I got 50 billion questions for you.
First, your second box is out in the man cave. I'll have to go get it.
Just tell me where the man cave it is.
Somewhere on the
Yeah,
floor.
yeah, I'll let you do that. 'Cause,
You walk in and you look around, and then you see it and you pick it up.
and you pick it up. Yeah, see,
I should be wearing gloves.
you should. What do you want me to put the clean ones? Set it here, and then when you come back out, will you bring me some paper towels? 'Cause I gotta wipe
Yeah,
my
I was
ass
gonna
too.
grab a whole roll.
Thank you. Hey guys, most of you who don't know, that's my husband Rick, and that's us talking about what we do on our farm. Not a big audience today. Don't expect it. It's really mostly for people who want to learn and for historical reference. We don't know what's going to happen in this world now. The world's weird. It's crazy. And bees, to me, reflect us a lot. Like, I know when my stomach hurts and things like that, I feel like I want to die. I can't imagine a tiny bee experiencing so much gut upset that it's literally causing the hives to collapse. Now, what are we doing to battle this? Because what happens if all the bees
Well,
die?
we're doing nothing because the company that make the Roundup company has solidified in court that their product does no direct damage to bees.
Now, what's this remind you of?
I don't know. Which one do you want? Lead
Lead.
and gas?
Lead.
There are a whole bunch of
Remember
different...
the lead and that scientist that was like, lead doesn't cause a problem in humans. What? I forgot the name of that guy. I should remember the name of those guys. Because they tried to catch him in a honey trap.
Well,
Honey pot.
you're thinking... I had his name for a second. I thought you were talking about the bad one.
The bad one for the
Because the one they tried to catch was the good guy. He was
yeah, they tried to catch the good guy in the honey pot. But he wasn't falling for the honey pot because he's like,
I know I'm not that hot.
now explain what the honey pot was, what they did to try to catch the good guy.
They had a couple of really hot,
No.
actress type hot ladies try to approach him in the supermarket and pick him up.
Oh my God. So let me set the scene. This is the story of how lead actually became banned in our country for use in like products and things like that. There's one man, and I cannot think of his name right now. Is the reason Francis
something.
If it comes to you, blurt it out, please. But there's one man that's the entire reason that we don't have lead in things anymore. He proved that it was the lead that was causing people to go insane.
Well, no, he proved that it was lead in gasoline that was leading to an increase in lead just in the environment.
And what was that leading to?
Well, we've known since Greek times that lead causes a loss of intelligence and eventual insanity.
Now, how did we find that out in Greek times?
They lined their aqueducts with lead, and so they all kind of went crazy over time.
Is that how the Egyptians population to collapse? How they lost their superiority?
We were talking about Greek.
The Greek. Yeah. What was that one? It's not that.
Greek was Athens, and
Athens.
that's still around.
Yeah. But what part was that? What part of empire was Greece at that time?
Greece.
Greece. It was its own empire.
Yeah, it was. Oh shit!
What's wrong?
I forgot I already. Sorry. But yeah, Greece was its own empire.
And it already had started building aqueducts and different type of underwater.
They were one of the most technologically advanced civilizations in history. They invented the yo-yo.
Didn't they invent vending machines too?
Yep, they invented vending machines, the yo-yo, all kinds of weird shit that...
Now, what year was this?
I don't
Oh
remember.
my God, it's so long ago. Like it was before before electronics,
Before my
anything.
birthday.
Before your birthday. Jesus, take the wheel. But yeah, so that,
Guys!
I'll go there and correct that. Now that gets back to the lead story, how this relates.
Well,
I
it's
said cut it.
it's the whole idea of an industry knowing they're doing damage, and rather than trying to change their business model, they simply try to use legal shenanigans to say their product is safe even when they know it isn't.
Right. Unfortunately, there are unscrupulous scientists that will take a payoff and say anything. Is that not true?
Yep.
And is that what part of what happened with lead? I got it.
Basically, yeah, they found one scientist willing to say what they wanted, and they had him labeled as an expert and had him go to Congress and testify that lead was safe and that the lead levels hadn't changed over time. So it's hard to really say for sure, but we're pretty sure he knew he was lying. You know? Otherwise, he was a really bad scientist, but either way, not good, but I'm pretty sure he was actively lying and knew he was telling falsehoods.
One of the first corporate lobbyists.
Yes. Well, first instance of corporations using science
As a reason.
against science.
And so, back to the honey pot. What's his Nader? How do you think of Nader now?
No, it wasn't Nader. It was... What's his name? It was a weird semi-female name.
I like the sordid part of this story because I love sordid shit. Now, this guy, complete nerd. I mean, we're talking, he's a nerd's nerd. You know what I mean? And this is back in the day where, you know, there wasn't no internet setups or hookups. When you were a nerd, you had to meet a good girl in church or your mama had to know somebody. You weren't just going to get no wife just like that unless you met her in the nerd community. It was hard out there for a nerd.
You know, a research assistant maybe.
Yeah, a research assistant, you could get that. But it was really hard out there for scientists to get love. And so this man was in the grocery store shopping for groceries. And what happens?
Two, like, super hot women
Model hot.
come up and try to pick him up.
Yes. To take him home. Because they thought he was hot in the grocery store. For no reason.
That doesn't even happen to hot guys.
That doesn't even happen to hot guys. Come on, man. It just reeked of setup. And he, of course, I'm so proud the man did not think with his penis. Because a lot of scientists would have been like, well, you know. I know a couple scientists that would have, Ricky. But no, he didn't fall for it. And he went to court and he preserved the data. You know, he went to the Arctic. Was it the Arctic where he got those
He did ice core samples.
Yeah, he took ice core samples from the Arctic and compared them throughout time to say that, you know, because in the end, his argument was not disagreeing with what the other scientists were saying. He was saying exactly what they were saying, but he was saying it as a negative thing, whereas the scientists were saying that it's something that would still happen.
Well, they were both scientists.
The other
the
scientist
paid scientist was saying that
it's
everything
not
was just natural.
It's no extra, not over time. This is just
It's
normal.
not human caused or anything.
Yeah. And meanwhile, this other guy, the other scientist, who had been paid to work on this, the one that discredited them, was paid to work on this by the actual lead companies, gas companies, in order to prove that they were safe. But his information did not come back proving that they were safe.
And as a true scientist, he reported the truth, not what they wanted to hear.
Nope. And the first thing they did was discredit him.
Or try.
Tried to. They got a new scientist. They fired him from their project. And they even went so shady as to when he was still going on his own to do more research. I think he was in the Arctic when they called that meeting to Congress.
Mm-hmm. He had to return straight from the field to testify.
Yeah, they didn't think he would make it. So here it is, this guy, this scientist that's lying. in the middle of his testimony, thinking that he wasn't going to be called on it because, first of all these people in Senate and Congress and stuff, they're not scientists.
Not a one.
Most of them are lawyers. So all they care about is a good argument and not the truth. And so while this guy was thinking he was going to get away with this argument, the other guy that was in the audit somehow makes it back to the United States to make it to this judiciary hearing. And the judiciary was like, both of you are saying the same things. How can you both be right and he be wrong? And I remember that being such a big thing. And he was like, we can't both be right. It's easier. The money in this world is so powerful for such a limited amount of time. You know why? Because our lives are so limited. We're here for a limited amount of time. And we keep thinking, oh, we're going to die before any of those things happen. What, oh my God, it's still a Futurama episode when they shot that trash into space.
Well, it won't be back for thousands of years, and we'll be dead by then.
We'll be dead by then. Who cares? The man who plants the tree does not care about the lifespan of his life because he's not planting the tree for himself. Except for them trees, them Jerusalem trees you were talking about. Now, I'm going to see them grow whenever you start growing them for us. I cannot wait to see that. But yeah, so bees can tell you a lot. What happens if we lose all the bees?
Well, natural pollination will stagnate. They have some technological solutions they hope will make agriculture continue to work.
But got the whole row?
Yeah, it's right behind you. But that's only, something that would affect crops. So we'd still lose most of nature.
And nature.
So like we'd lose all the various flowering plants, vegetables, some shade trees that require bees. Almond trees require honeybees. There are all kinds of species that are completely dependent on the honeybee alone. And even though there are other pollinator species, none of them are as widespread or as efficient as honeybees. So you'd see basically an overall die-off of plants around the world in nature, not like necessarily agriculture, because like I said, they might be able to bridge agricultural gaps, but then you just have fewer plants, fewer trees, fewer things to produce oxygen, fewer things to filter the air, and eventually you just lose the ability to support life on the planet because unless, of course, evolution's always a race. So unless, of course, evolution can come up with something to replace the honeybee. We're not going to.
That brings me to your story.
Oh.
Valens. And that story, evolution completely replaces the honeybee. Did you address the honeybees yet?
No.
I can't wait till you do. My husband's wrote a post-apocalyptic book called Confessions of a Genocidal Madman that kind of talks about where we're heading to in the future from now. It's actually, you should read that. That's kind of a true story. A lot of this stuff are going to go down in the annals, and people are going to read this later in history and be like, why wouldn't nobody listen to the crazy girl with DID and her crazy mad scientist husband who took care of her? Well, we didn't have the money for a lobbyist.
See, there's your first mistake. You shouldn't have been poor.
Shouldn't have been born poor.
Yeah, that was your
wrong.
choice.
If it could have been just like Elon and pulled ourselves up by our bootstraps with just one gem mine.
One measly emerald mine.
One measly emerald mine, man. That's all it would have took. But look at us, lazing away in the military.
And customer service and retail and
retail.
All those useless things that no one benefits from.
No. It's really sad, Rick, that, we have to live in the here and now, true. We also have to realize the future does exist. And if you procreate, especially if you choose to have children, you have to be careful on what you're leaving behind for them. In our lifetime, It'll be closer to the end of our lifetime, I would hope, before we see the end of bees. And we'll be coming closer to our deaths. In our lifetime, we're not going to see half the trees we planted. Most of the trees we planted come all the way to their fuel life. But why are we simply concerned about this lifetime if we don't have having a lifetime mindset and not a planetary mindset is screwing up the planet. And eventually, every animal, every species gets tired of fleas, and she's going to scratch us right off of it. At least that's my opinion. It's like she has to evolve to compete with us being predators.
Yep. Well, that's what evolution is. It's an arms race.
Yeah. And guess what? Mother Nature never ends. So guess who wins the arms race? Because once we're all
Humans
gone,
always win.
really,
By exterminating all life.
that would make it. That would explain a lot of these barren and desolate planets.
We win every time. We wipe out all life. Ha 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 ha.
You know,
Silly life thinking it
we
could
really
live.
need one of those farts from the Rick and Morty universe. You see you guys, and we see you as a virus, a danger, and we just exterminate you. As a human being, I can see my planetary impact throughout my lifetime, and I don't like it. I've not always picked up my litter. I've not always tried to conserve. I threw away cans, I threw away plastics, I burnt things, I threw things, I did things that were unnecessary to nature. I've left my imprint, and nature will never forget me. And I hope that in time, she will remember me in kindness for the deeds that I'm trying to do now to redeem myself. Maybe nobody else feels as close to nature like that. I guess when you live in the city, it's different. Oh, did you see that the cherry tree that you said leave alone now is going to give us cherries this year?
Mm-hmm.
It didn't last year. It didn't last year.
Mm-mm.
This is the first year it's giving cherries.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about that. Because you know how annoyed I was about that cherry tree?
You wanted it gone, didn't you?
Yeah, because it was right outside my little perfect lot. And that's the thing. Everybody in this world wants perfection. And this little perfect row, where all my bricks were, I have my roses, my flowers, and I have a dream about what I want it to look like. And that dream did not involve that extra cherry tree. I had no dreams of an extra cherry tree right there. I still dreamed of having my peach trees, and my peach trees are, oh, is that baby gone for good, baby, right here?
I'm not sure yet. I'll know this year.
Yeah, guys, my peach trees got like a blight. And the first few years, like I said, my husband could have probably took care of all this had we had no one living with us at the time. The problem was we had people living with us, and it was a distraction from us. Hell, we distract from us. We stop to have arguments and civil moments to where we have to recalibrate where we stand with each other and reaffirm our love. Being married in this universe isn't easy, and divorce is though, and it shouldn't be. Not that I advocate for that shit that the Republicans is doing about making divorce harder. Not at all. I think that divorce should be hard for the person who gets married, not for the courts. Yeah, if I loved you enough to walk down that aisle, I say I do. I must love you enough to do the routine maintenance that what's required when you have a relationship with someone. I'm so happy it's just 2 this year, baby. Every year.
Can you come move this
Paintbrush?
paintbrush?
Every year we expand. Now that people aren't here, and we always we're so hard on ourselves.
Let me change gloves.
Yeah, because we're thinking we're not doing enough. But every year we do a little more. Like we've been wanting to do beehives since we first moved into this property. We had so many people living with us that didn't want to help, that didn't want to do anything, that this is the first year we finally got around to. The first year that we were here, we did a really big garden, but also during that time, my son's friends came and they did thousands of dollars worth of damage to my sprinkler system that I still haven't got back up yet to maintain my yard.
It's on my list.
No, that's not it's just me lamenting. That's not something I'm blaming you for at all. And it was just a weed a bed, and they went through and they broke off all my stems and hoses. I would love to have the money to pay someone to come out and install that sprinkler system again.
Oh, yeah.
And at some point we will.
Oh, yeah.
What do you need
No,
me to do?
I'll gimp it up.
Give me them. Yeah, at some point we will. Not right now. But if you know someone who's installed sprinkler systems for a good price or likes to barter, because we're farmers, let us know. We live in the Pacific. Do I always say that right? Or do I say Pacific? Pacific Northwest, over in Washington State. We're also always looking for other homesteaders. We're very vetty about who we allow in our house and our house lives now. It's actually vetty to the point of background check. We had some friends that were gonna move up, but things came up and they couldn't. But we really love to have a like-minded couple to come up and homestead with us that aren't lazy, that aren't full of like, drama, and want to save money. I see so many people living out their cars and their vans and making making that little space look beautiful. When you could come and have a whole little piece of land to live on here, as long as you just helped here. You know what kills me? Every time you get something new, the neighbors too. That truck was not always there. I feel like we're in a Joneses neighborhood. And we are not the Joneses, nigga. We are not the Joneses. We the Rones. What would you call us? What's the broke last name?
No, let's be the Joneses. The Southern Joneses.
Yeah, you can keep up with seriously. Old Tyrone Jones. Uncle Jones. Seriously, you gonna keep up with us? We're gonna have you crazy.
I always thought that was funny because every Jones I knew was not a respectable person. So it was like keeping up with the Joneses.
All
it
the
was
Joneses
all like
I knew were really respectable people. Yeah.
That was like the trailer trash of my area.
Oh my God, my brother Chris, his best friend name was Chris Jones. And the Joneses family in Texas was one of the sweetest families. Although Chris Jones did give my brother 2 guns to smuggle with him to Memphis when he was a kid. But he did it for altruistic reasons. He was going to Memphis. So Chris Jones, hats off to you. Although Christopher got the ass whooping of his life, he did need those because he was going to Memphis. In the end, it wasn't gun violence that took my brother. It was a diabetic coma. Don't let your weight make you think you okay. My brother was tall and thin and beautiful, and our family suffers from diabetes a lot, extremely. So if you are tall and thin and you're always sweating and you have all these other, you're diabetic. Diabetes is not a weight. Diabetes is a disease. It doesn't care how much you weigh, especially if your weight runs rampant in your family. And my father died of congestive heart failure in relation to diabetes. My brother went into a diabetic coma in the bathtub at my cousin's house. Went into the hospital, was revived. Then he got combative because he woke up. And then the hospital gave him a shot and he died again. They gave him a shot to coma. You know how they treat black people. It is what it is. And I'm not really going to say black people anymore because it's all people. It's all poor people. It's all of us. Everybody who's poor, we all have the same story of our family going into a hospital. Poor or overweight or just genuinely not liked. You have a story member of your family going into a hospital. Thina, you are not supposed to be out there. Get back in the yard or you will be in the house. That's the last time, ma'am. That's my big dog. This is everything in here. That's fence. Over there is fence. Thina can't go in there with the other dogs that are in the fence because she eats dog poop. And then she'll come in after she's eaten the dog poop and throw it up. And so that's no fun. She'll throw it out so the whole living room will smell like nothing but poopy vomit. I could have swore he had a second box for me to do. No, this is what life is like here. This is what my life is like now. And it's never what I imagine my life to be, but I'm very happy that it is this way. Anybody wondering, I bit the shit out of myself earlier. What is that? What is that?
Can you not read?
Paint thinner? This is our blood, isn't it?
It's paint.
What color?
Mainly browns.
Is this the one that had the additions? I tell saintly editions. Oh, this looked like my glass that I have. I have a glass that has red paint in it, that has additional product in
no,
it.
this is from me painting the.
It looked just like that.
Okay, yeah, no.
I was like, oh my God, is he using my saintly glass? Oh hell, no.
I need to get these washed out. I haven't.
One of those is a red E4 mixed with a lot of blood. And so that's the one I thought you had. I was like, why would he have my one with the blood in it? I have a paint specifically that's mixed with like a rust color like that.
Where's the puppy?
I had to fuss at Bean because she was all the way out the yard. I'm probably gonna put her back in the house. But Chunkers in the front yard.
Okay. I don't really worry about them too much. But
Chunkers doesn't run off. Beans, however, was all the way around the corner.
I also don't worry about her running off.
No, she's just curious. She's sitting on the porch now because she got fussed at. She's hurt. Her feelings are hurt.
Oh, shoot. Oh,
How long is it gonna take this to dry?
I don't know. But that's
Should
all.
we set it up in a position to make it more dryable? Throw a fan on it? Because we got to get those bees in here.
This is the top part. It's the part that needs to dry the most. It's upright.
You want to get our
It's-
box fan and pull it out and set it up here?
It really
It
wouldn't
wouldn't
help
help.
that much. Being in the sun
It's a sunny day too.
is really its best
So,
chance.
what else
but-
can we? Where's the second? You said there was a second box.
Yeah, we've got to go out and.
Oh, the man cave.
I'm trying to clean up the paint stuff first, though.
Okay. Always clean up after yourselves when you're working. I don't, but he does. And when I don't, it usually leads to spill by him because he didn't know I didn't close. Some days I look around at this life and I'm just surprised at how beautiful it is and how much I take for granted.
Okay.
I need to get out here and get these big bitches at some point. This ain't even. These are sorrel.
Yeah.
This is sorrel. Fucking.
Oh, no.
They
The
leave some
sorrel
behind.
we need to pull up all the sorrel because it gets too big and bulky right in front of the door.
You know what I was wanting?
What?
A whole sorrel strawberry patch going across here.
No, sorrel is too invasive. It takes over everything.
Okay, let me turn the camera to you so you can show everybody what sorrel is and tell them how much you planted the first time. And let's see if I can get the camera going on the sorrel. Okay, so that's down there.
I planted about this much sorrel.
How long
One
ago?
plant, like 3-4 years ago.
And it was just one plant.
And
Where'd
it
you
wasn't
plant
over here.
it? Where'd you plant it?
It was planted right here, where this little piece is, and it expanded out.
You see this? This sorrel is everywhere.
everywhere.
Sorrel is also a superfood. I could be doing something with this. I definitely should be doing something with this. But yeah, this sorrel has taken over like everywhere. What are we gonna do out there for cover? You gonna do the clovers, or you gonna do something edible?
I don't know, because the ground cover with no real soil on top of it.
Yeah, and no, it's not really covering ground either anymore. It's like,
Well, it's got weeds growing out of it.
yeah.
So in reality, we need to plant something that don't grow like a weed.
So what are you thinking?
I don't know. I mean, I know what I'd like.
Did you want me to call? Today is a weekday, right?
No, it's like-
Because I forgot I was supposed to call Dial Excavating to see if they had those
Oh, yeah,
older
the-
things.
I still need to measure for that.
Yeah.
If you want, we could relocate.
Where we going? Man cave area?
Yeah, if you want, because that's where all the boxes are.
Okay, so where is I wish we had a wagon that wasn't full of poop. I just pulled him around and just want to get our glasses. And our Chunkers! I'm putting beans back in the house. You hear me?
Come on, Chunkers. Come on.
Do the dogs have water in the big yard?
Not really.
I'll go push some out there before I come.
There's a black tote that's full of rainwater that they've been drinking out of.
Yeah, you can go around. If when you go around and take chonkers, if you can grab my pot, grab it. If not, I'll come back and grab it.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'll have hands about that.
I'll do it on the way back to you there. We walk all the way around. I'll take and I'm just move the water over there. Just remind me to go in there. I didn't want to go through that way and then pop back. You know what I mean?
I get it.
Ah, you're forgetting. Who's digging that hole?
I am.
Oh, okay. What's that one for? The rose?
No, I got a new tree I was gonna try out there.
Oh, what kind of tree?
I can show it to you in a minute.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring this over here. I'm just gonna walk you in chonkers and I'm gonna let the water. Everybody, welcome to this geese and duck and I gotta be careful over here that there's a lady that's got a nest in there, and so I gotta make sure I stay away from there. She gets real pissy. You feel me? Da, 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 da. This could be your future home if you decide to be a homesteader here. All you have to do is come and fix it up. This piece of property in here is huge. How big is this shed, baby?
This shed is 20 by 40.
Yeah, it's enough for an apartment. How many feet would that be?
800 square feet.
Yeah, my first apartment was 640 square feet.
Nothing huge, but nothing, too cramped.
And it was a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, I've seen 2 bedrooms this small.
Yeah, I'm gonna head over to the water.
This is about the size of our place in Longview, wasn't it?
It is bigger than our place in Longview, honey. Don't give us credit like that. Our washing machine was in the kitchen. We're very European.
Oh no, that was
that was Vancouver.
Yeah, that was Vancouver.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, this is about the size of the one in Longview.
Yes.
Is it in a good place?
I'll go move it.
Okay, we're gonna turn it on. Okay, buddy. I think I'm actually done. I put the water out there. We got the water out in here. Now we'll work out here. Shit, did we bring the paper towels? And the putty knife?
I got the putty knife there. Our paper towel.
Okay, good.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Do you want the other box like this, or is this the only one you want?
That's good enough for a start.
Because I was like, I can bring them both out now if you're going to end up wanting them to make sure you can use the pieces from individuals just in case you
Well,
got to.
I was gonna show you what all is involved in it. So
There's a bee already on it.
yeah.
Yeah, this is what they already looking like. This is home.
So
That's old honeycomb,
this
right?
is the old.
But you let me go get that box of new sheets. Do you need that now? There's a bee already interested in these boxes, which I like.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
smells
speaking
of
of
bees.
I need to go open up the. You want to see the bees?
Yeah. Oh, low battery already? Guys, I'm gonna have to get back to you and put my phone on the charger, but my husband has a lot to do and I don't have a lot of time to interact, but I love you and we'll be back soon after these messages. Well, after I charge up my iPhone, it's pretty much the message.